The following is a Just Green production brought to you by the Might Be News Network.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a very special edition of Might Be Brews, the podcast where we explore the people, places, and brews of the craft beer world. We are live from Kennett BrewFest 2019.
Dude, this is crazy.
Dude, there is so many people here, and this is such a crazy event. There's over 100 breweries, and each brewery has, for the most part, more than one beer. So I can't imagine how many beers are here. But this is a crazy, crazy event. I can't believe how many people are here.
Very cool. We're just at the end of the connoisseur hour. So there's going to be a lot more people filling in this place very, very soon, I would imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. The connoisseur event, they had I would say less than half of the breweries maybe were actually involved in the connoisseurs session, and they had special beers lined up for their for the connoisseur event. And I couldn't figure it out. We didn't get the tokens, but I feel like they're dropping tokens at each of the breweries when they find their favorite beer.
Yeah, you get 3 tokens, and you get to kind of vote on your favorite beer. And I don't know when they're going to tally that up, but I guess we'll see who the favorite connoisseur beer is.
That's very interesting. I'm going to go ahead and drop my bomb. And now I've only had the connoisseur beer so far, and I, of course, could not make it to every brewery that's here. But so far, my favorite beer is the table beer from Brew Gentlemen.
That was absolutely a favorite of mine. It was tart. It was funky. It had a little sour to it. It brought you right up to that edge of being too funky, too sour, but then it just sat on this side of it, and it was really good beer.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. Woo! Is that the new sounder?
There it is.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it. But yeah, I haven't heard that yet. I'm still waiting for somebody to do that. I can't wait. I know somebody will. I know at least Brett will, but we'll see. But yeah, and it's interesting that the same thing with the table beer. I had the same feelings. I felt like there was so many awesome flavors there, and everything came through in its own way and came through strong, but nothing was too powerful, and it was an incredibly well-balanced beer.
And it was crazy. Wasn't even 5%, was it?
No, I think it was 4 something.
Yeah, for
So,
that much
very
flavor, it was great. What other beers would you have thrown your token in? I might have thrown one of mine into that Captain May from Cape May. That's a really good IPA.
Yeah? Man, I wish I could remember who it was. I had a Mexican chocolate stout. Do you remember who I said that was from?
Rebel Hill?
Yeah, Rebel Hill. That beer was awesome because it was a thick stout like I like, but it had really good heat behind it as well.
There's definitely, you will forget how many beers you've had when you come to these kind of things.
Do you see our sticker rolling around the parking lot? Yeah, some of our stuff is getting blown around because it's a little windy, and I just saw our sticker just rolling
it's kind of
across
windy.
the parking lot.
Our business cards, we've got koozies, we've got stickers, everything's kind of blowing around here, but we're super excited to be here. I got to give a shout out to Jeff Norman. He's putting on a fantastic event. From what I understand, this is one of the most popular and biggest beer events in the area. He does a fantastic job. Everybody here is having a blast, and we're super thrilled to be here. And we're looking forward. We talked to a lot of people, and we want to get some people on board to come chat with us and talk about their beers. So I think it's going to be a really awesome day.
I can't imagine logistically how it is to try and get this many breweries and people and vendors and everything to come together on the same day. It's got to be almost like a year-long effort.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, especially like all the beers that they have here in the kegs. I saw pictures online of like a tractor trailer with a reefer on it, keeping everything everything cold. Very, very cool.
We're about to get yelled at on the megaphone here.
Jeff's trying to get his megaphone to work.
We're having some technical difficulties.
Use that mic, Jeff, if you want.
You want to come sit here?
Hey, how do I get on this pod?
Yeah, come sit over here.
Right there. Come on over.
Come talk right into that microphone right there.
I can give you a few minutes.
Yeah, please do.
Absolutely.
We were just talking about you, Jeff, because I'm really curious. There's got to be a ton of work that goes into organizing something like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we do Winterfest too, which is always the last Saturday in February.
Yep.
So it really never stops. I mean, next week I'll start working on that.
Planning on Winterfest.
Yeah,
that's what I was curious of. When do you start planning an event like this? Right after Winterfest ends?
Pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty much.
So tell us, I know this is a fundraiser of sorts for Kennett. Where does this kind of event lead to? What's this help you out with?
Well, it's for Historic Kennett Square, which is a 501c3. there's a mission statement that is like to enrich the business, cultural, civic health of Southern Chester County, basically. So what happens, this event basically makes, I won't pretend to know the percentage, but a majority of the operating capital for the nonprofit.
I believe
and then we deal in things like, we have put together a business package, so if a new business wants to come to Kennett Square, we have this package for them that helps them get through the governmental process and all the approvals they have to get. We have a farmer's market that we sponsor, parades that we fall, under the sponsorship, not complete, but under the sponsorship. We have, similar to like media, we have a third Thursday dinner thing on the streets.
Okay, yeah.
We're involved in that. So, there's a plethora of activities and events that we sponsor basically through this and the Winterfest.
That's amazing. I kind of wonder why a beer fest in particular could generate so much money, but at least what I've experienced being involved in the industry is there's no industry like it where there's so much about community, where everybody wants to help each other out and be a part of something. So I think it's amazing that a beer festival could do so much for the community to give back and help run these things throughout the year.
Yeah, and 1998 was the first year. This concept is not really an easy sell. It's thousands of people drinking alcohol.
Back in 98? Absolutely. I don't know. I would imagine it's a little bit easier in 2019.
It is, but look at a place like Westchester, which is having their second one. And because I think, and it's in June, so I think they have a little university paranoia.
Sure.
Yeah. So
probably smartly so.
Yeah. So so those kinds of things happen. The local government here and the police department have embraced this thing totally. So I don't think you can do it if the government or the PD department doesn't think it's a good idea. It
Absolutely.
Just makes it a lot harder to do. So.
Well, I think it's such a great event. It's amazing how many people show up, what it's doing for the community, and what it does for the brewers as well. There's a lot of people here that get to promote their stuff that probably wouldn't have been heard of, maybe not heard of if they didn't come to an event like this.
It's year 22, and I think I have 23 first-time breweries.
23 first-time breweries here.
That's incredible. That's really cool.
But that speaks to where the industry's going, I think. But just a small, more neighborhood. I won't say nano, but and of course those people. It's like the chance of being in front of 3,500 people. It's like they're all in.
That was my next question about how many people are showing up.
And you usually get their best stuff too, because they want to showcase what they have.
Absolutely.
So.
That's the really cool thing about this event. You guys have the connoisseur hour set up where a number of breweries are offering their kind of one-offs, their best stuff.
Yeah.
And then for the regular fest, there's still some really good beers pouring for the regular session too. So everybody's getting a little bit of everything.
Hey, we got a half of zombie dust today.
Can't shake your head at that.
No. What's the total count on breweries? I keep saying over 100, but what do we end up at?
101.
Oh, really?
I had a couple drop and added a few back in, and it ended up at 101.
That's awesome.
I was at 105, and it ended up at 101. So.
That's amazing. I just can't imagine the work it takes, to schedule all these things and work with all these people. But, it's just so cool to look around and see all these people having a great time and enjoying good beer.
See my email blast. It has like over 300 contacts for this thing.
Yeah. I can't imagine, man.
Have you been partaking yet?
I've tasted a couple things.
Anything stick out to you? A little favorite so far?
That Free Will Blueberry Sour was unbelievable.
I haven't had that yet. I was eyeing that up. I walked past it, but I haven't had it yet.
That had the hint of like proper vinegar in it that just lights my fire, so to speak.
What's your favorite style of beer, personally?
I'm actually a lager guy.
Yeah.
When I can no longer get St. Boisterous from Victory, it makes me very sad. It makes me sad.
Mm-hmm.
I think they do it like is it like a seasonal now? They do it like in March or something?
I think they retired it, unfortunately.
I think it's St. Victorious.
But they do like a throwback series, so you might see it again. It might come around again. But I like everything, but I like lager.
Are you from Kennett?
I am not.
Where are you from?
Originally from Lebanon, Pennsylvania.
So why Kennett? Out of all the towns you could throw this at, why is Kennett important to you?
Well, it was my first job out of college, and I've been here ever since. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. So I got my job here and just loved the community, and this is in the 80s, and a seat on Borough Council became available. My neighbor 2 doors up was president of council, and I was like in my early 30s, and he asked me if I wanted to fill in the seat. There wouldn't have to be like a special election thing. I'm boring you, but anyway, so I got on Borough Council, and I was on Borough Council for 6 years. I was on the Architecture Review Board for about the same amount of time, and then sort of that proliferation of big box stores and anywhere around Philadelphia. I mean, Phoenixville, Media, Kennett Square.
Right.
Trying to find your niche, like how are we going to survive? Like how is our downtown retail area going to survive? And we ended up working with a consultant that basically turned Manayunk around.
Okay, yeah.
And one of the things was, well, you can have membership and raise your money that way, or you can find a really cool way to make money to support the organization.
Yeah.
And I had gone to the, I don't know if you guys know the old, and probably 10 years earlier than us, the old Eastern BrewFest invitationals that Stouts would throw up in Adamstown.
No, I've never been.
Oh, yeah, they do like 3 a year, and we would go to those, and I'm like, this thing's a great model. We can make some money doing this for the organization, and that's how it was born, really.
Yeah, it's amazing. I just look at all the people that are here and think, like, how much this is benefiting the community is amazing.
We had, I think it was 2 years ago, we had a family here. They like made their own T-shirts, and the one grandkid, whatever you want to call them, turned 21 like 2 days before the fest.
Nice.
And like
that's a hell of an initiation.
And like 93-year-old great grandma was here.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, it was so cool. They had like 4 generations of people hanging out at the BrewFest. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of to me what makes it worthwhile. It's stuff like that, just people having a good time.
Absolutely.
So,
I don't know if you noticed his lanyard. It's BrewFest King is the,
nice.
the title. I enjoy that very much.
That's the nickname I was given.
That's awesome. Very, very cool.
All right, guys. Well, I got a little work to do.
I know you got a lot to do.
So I'm glad you're here. By the way, I think it's a really cool idea having you guys be set up. And
thank you very much for having us.
We've got a lot of really cool interviews lined up, so we're excited to talk to some of the brewers.
Great, very cool.
And some of the people that are attending. And I'm really excited that we're going to have a really cool show to put out.
Cool.
So thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right,
Thanks, Jeff.
Have a good time.
Yep. Thanks again.
Don't forget to drink some beer too.
Absolutely.
We're doing that.
Thanks, guys.
Joining us, we have Kent from Braylock Brewing. Kent, how you doing today?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Thank you so much for joining us here.
Oh, thanks for being here.
So tell us a little bit about Braylock. It looks like you guys are from right here in Kennett Square.
We are a 4-minute walk from the entrance to this beer festival.
That's amazing.
This is literally our backyard. So we opened 7 months ago, so we're brand new and still learning every day.
Wow.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's
Brand
great.
new.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
We're trying an afterfest today after the festival. We're not sure how that's going to go because we don't know how drunk people are going to be. But hopefully they're hungry and want to hang out.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So do you guys do food as well at the brewery?
We got food over there. We got to just put in a 10-foot high-definition TV screen, so we're watching college football today.
10 foot?
10-footer, yeah.
Oh, that's great.
We have a nice big tap room, 4,000 square feet, big 78-foot long bar, outside beer garden with a creek running by us. So it's a little piece of heaven down there.
That's amazing. I'm flipping through some pictures. I love what you got going on with the bar, like that giant barrel behind the taps.
That's our serving barrel. Yep.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
Very cool. So the beer that you guys brought here, you guys have a few beers here. What beers did you bring? Do you know?
Yeah, so for the connoisseur session, we brought 2 beers. We brought the one you're drinking here is the Creme Brulee Imperial Milk Stout. I took a little Imperial out of it. I didn't want to knock you out with it. So it's about 8.2%.
Yep.
But definitely wanted a Creme Brulee coming out of that with the vanilla. And some of the cardamom coming out in that one. And so it's just a nice finish of an Imperial Milk Stout.
Yeah, that's nice. You know,
really
for being an Imperial, it's actually pretty drinkable.
Yeah.
Very approachable for that kind of style.
Kind of dangerous.
That could be a real easy beer to get away from you with the sweetness and the cloyingness of it, but this one doesn't have that. It's very controlled, but it's all still there. It's still got roastiness with the sweet, which is very nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Definitely both are coming through there.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I can imagine this thing goes down pretty easy at 8% It's hidden very well.
It's one of those dangerous ones. So I brought also for the connoisseur session a banana cream pie ale.
Oh,
that sounds interesting.
So
I saw that.
Just a nice pale ale, and I had them pour it into a pitcher so it warms up a little bit, and you just get this nice banana cream pie. So not quite a milkshake ale, but just trying to bring something special for that connoisseur.
Sure.
So
that's awesome.
Now, regular session, we got a rye IPA, classic rye, West Coast, nice dry finish to it. And then I just scaled up I call it my smoking blonde mocha stout. So it's a blonde stout. Got some smoked malts in there and some cacao in there.
It's great.
So, so we'll see how that one gets received over here today.
Yeah, great.
Very cool.
Great. So obviously, since you guys are new to brewery, a new brewery, this is your first time here. So what do you guys think so far? Is it a great crowd for you guys?
It's a great crowd. It is not our first time here at the festival.
Oh no, okay,
yeah.
Great.
We actually we're probably the craziest brewery out there. The very first time we came was 3 years ago. We had just signed a lease on the building, and we did not serve any alcohol at a beer festival.
Wow.
we had a lot of people coming up talking to us. A few disappointed, but we didn't have our liquor control board permits yet, so we didn't want to mess with it.
Yeah.
And last year we were serving beer. We do Winterfest here also, which is a fantastic festival here in the same venue.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah, great turnout here for Kennett Square. This is our 21st year, I think, for this.
That's what they said.
We made it to here to Winterfest, and Winterfest is a great event, but this is it dwarfs it.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy.
This is probably 3 times as big as
that.
There's a nice intimate nature at Winterfest, but this one's just amazing. All the people coming out, and our weather today.
It's great.
Couldn't ask for better weather.
Yeah, it's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I actually like that it's a little bit cloudy because it's hiding the sun a little bit.
Yeah.
It's plenty warm. Everybody's having a good time, but it's not just like you're not baking.
Yeah, it's just
perfect.
Getting them to drink a bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So if our listeners wanted to come visit you, where exactly, what's your address? Where can they find you at?
Yeah, so the address is 225 Birch Street. So right here in Kennett Square, we're just a block. We're a 4-minute walk on Google Maps, but we're on Kennett Square is a borough, 1 mile square. So we're on, it's kind of weird to talk about the south side of town, but because it's 1 mile square, but we're on the south side of town here. So right near Kennett High School.
Okay, awesome.
That's where we're located. So yeah, it's a nice big place to come hang out. And we got the garage door open today. The beer garden's open. It's just a beautiful time down there.
I see some giant Connect 4.
Yeah, we got giant Connect 4. We got Jenga. Yeah, we are a family-friendly environment and venue.
Cool.
So we like
kids are allowed.
Kids are allowed in there.
Cool.
We get it. Family's important to us, and you want to be able to get out and have the kids be able to come in there. And we like to say controlled. We're not a zoo, we're not a playground, but really want to bring out families and have a good time there. So we really push for that as well.
That's cool. That's a touchy subject, I feel like, lately.
Very touchy.
But me as a parent really appreciate that there's places that allow it. And of course, you don't want somebody to be hammered and letting their kids running amok.
Yeah.
But for the responsible people that like to enjoy a couple good beers and be with their family, that's nice that there's a welcoming environment for that.
Yeah, it's just a great, relaxing time.
That's awesome.
And have the wife drive us home.
Yes.
Well, there's always a trailing spouse or trailing boyfriend, girlfriend. They don't like beer. And so the good news in Pennsylvania is we can serve Pennsylvania-made wine, cider, or spirits.
Right.
So we do have ciders and we do have wines available, so we can cover that for others that don't want to drink beer. I don't know who doesn't drink beer, but there's some out there.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
My wife is one of them. Shout out to Jackie. Hi, Jackie.
All right, Jackie, we got you covered.
Very, very cool. Well, Kent, we really appreciate you taking a couple minutes to hang out with us.
Thanks for coming on.
We would love to have you do a full hour-and-a-half show with us sometime.
Oh, we'd love it.
So maybe we can come by and do some tastings and record a full episode with you. But thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we'll look forward to hanging out with you soon.
All right, guys. Thanks for what you're doing.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Take care,
man.
See ya.
All right, everybody, we're back live at Kennett BrewFest. We've got a couple patrons coming up and saying what's up. Who let us know who we're talking to here.
My name's Scott.
Where are you from, Scott?
I'm from Westchester.
Awesome.
Nice. And I had to stop you guys. Well, you guys were kind of checking us out and looking a little bit, but I was like, I swear I know Jen, and I don't know from where, but I swear I know her. But it turns out we both went to Downingtown. West
is best.
West is best. So
I still don't know which one's west and which one's east.
Yeah, West is the
West
cool
is
people.
the original.
Okay.
The original Downingtown High School.
They're north and south from each other, though, right? In my mind, one's up 113.
They're east and west.
Yeah,
I don't believe it.
you could say that. I don't know.
So what are we drinking here? What are you guys drinking on right now?
This is the Hidden River Double IPA. What's it called? Yeah, she's
Yeah.
terrible with beer names. She mixes all
Yes,
unrivaled departure.
something like that. Something departure. I said departure when I ordered it.
Is that what I'm drinking too?
Untimely departure.
Untimely departure.
Is that what I'm drinking too?
Yes, I
All
got
right.
you one as
Awesome.
well.
It's fantastic.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Thanks for stopping by.
Cheers, guys. Oh, that's really tasty. I could drink
That's
that.
solid.
I could drink a couple of those.
I used to work in Phoenixville, and I would drive up 724 all the time, and I'd pass their brewery, but they just never had hours while I was actually working, so I never had a chance to actually go in there and try any of their beers. But they've got a great reputation, and this is solid. This is really
very
good.
Were you guys here for the connoisseur hour?
We were. So we volunteer. We've done that for the past, I don't know, three or 4 years. We volunteer at both the fall and the winter BrewFest.
Nice.
And we try and do during the connoisseurs because you get some of the beers that aren't available during the regular session.
That's very cool.
What's been some of your favorites so far?
I really like the Hidden River's been awesome. What was the stout? We were talking about it earlier. The coffee stout. Blue coffee from Breaker.
from Breaker.
was
Yeah.
fantastic. That one's awesome.
That was
Hitchhiker brought the Oreo Speedwagon again, which is
Yeah.
That's a good
phenomenal
one.
beer.
That's
Yeah,
very good.
Absolutely.
Mainstay was really good too.
I didn't have it.
Mainstay. What are they're Cape Mayish, aren't they? Aren't
Who's
they
that?
down that way? Mainstay.
No,
I don't know
they're
them.
Center City, Philadelphia.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
I thought they were a coastal one for some reason. I'm thinking of something else.
I mean, they have the ship reference, so.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was.
They took over the old yards building, the guy said.
Oh, yeah, the old yards.
Oh, nice. Oh, the old Yards building. So,
I like the way Jen didn't want to be on the podcast, but now she's just...
yeah, she's just chiming in.
chiming in from the side,
please.
yeah.
That microphone
This is a
swings, so you can
swinging-
actually
This is a swinging boom
get in
here.
there.
So feel free to just, bring it over and say hi.
There you go.
Okay.
Hi, Jen. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Awesome. Very good. So, what's involved in volunteering? What do you guys do?
Basically, just sign up. They send out an email, and
Yeah.
you only have to volunteer for about 2 hours. And
Okay.
you can sample while you volunteer, so you can drink while you volunteer. And you just got to make sure the trash is taken and the
Empty
slush
the-
buckets.
Yeah, empty spill buckets, refill
Yeah.
the water, rinse coolers.
It's pretty easy.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That sounds like a good deal to me.
Absolutely.
it's worth it. That's why we do it.
And
That's so cool.
It's 2 o'clock and we're done now, and so we just get to stay and drink the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Very cool.
Yeah, we're very lucky to do it.
That's great.
Who are you going to hit up? Do you have anybody on your hit list that you haven't gotten to yet?
Definitely want to check out Brew Gentleman for sure.
He knows
we've
way
been
more.
saying-
He on the lift over here, he's looking up the breweries that he wants to, and I just kind of whatever.
Yeah.
I had my
awesome.
list. Don't worry, I had my list. It's okay.
You
do?
have to. You
Who's
gotta
on your
plan ahead.
list?
Definitely Brew Gentleman.
The
Definitely
table beer is my favorite beer that I've had
Yeah?
so far.
That was
from Brew Gentleman.
I
spectacular.
saw that on a list. I'll have to try that.
Yeah, I love that beer. If you're into sours, it's not too sour, but it's
He's really into sours.
Yeah.
I can't get there yet. I need like an antacid before.
Yeah. I
This
know what
one
you
might
mean.
not be a bad one for you to try because it's right up to that edge, but it's not overpowering sour.
What's the name of it again?
Table beer?
It's a table beer.
beer.
Yeah,
Okay.
from Brew Gentleman.
Okay.
They're gonna get a lot of love on this podcast. I feel like.
Yeah, I think so too.
Very cool.
What else are you excited for? This is the first I get to hear it too. So. what are the
I
breweries?
mean, I know 3 Floyds brought one I've never tried before. I know they've kind of started hitting the area, but they have
Yeah.
Zombie Dust. I haven't tried that one yet, so
I haven't had a zombie dust in a minute.
A fresh
been a while.
zombie dust is a special
Yeah.
beer.
I should have got one earlier. Shit.
I mean,
it's gonna be packed probably.
It's okay. Like through the day, it's not going to go bad through the day.
That's true.
Right.
Very interesting.
I'm just sticking now.
Yeah.
that's all there is to it.
Well, awesome. Well, guys, thanks so much for stopping by. It was so cool to talk to you.
Yes, thank you so much for having us. This was so fun. Cross this off the bucket list.
Yeah, right.
been
You
on
guys
a
are on the
podcast
podcast.
now.
On a podcast
Officially.
about beer.
Where do you guys live? Like what area?
Westchester, like
Westchester,
downtown.
cool.
We live right by Henderson.
Okay, that's right. Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, hopefully we run into you guys at a brewery soon. It'd be awesome to get a couple beers
Absolutely,
together.
yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah,
Thanks,
have
Thank
fun.
you, guys.
See ya.
Yeah.
We're live. Kennett BrewFest 2019.
Of course, the wind picks up right when we come back.
Yeah,
Windy out here.
everything's blowing off of our table. We've got Mark, Chris, and Bill from Breaker Brewing in the Scranton-ish area.
How's it going?
Guys, how you doing? Thank you for being here.
Really good. How are you?
Thanks for coming on with us.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Very cool. So tell me about you guys. When did you guys open up?
Well, we opened in our Wilkes-Barre Township location
Okay.
in 2013,
Wow, okay.
but we've been brewing beer and selling it to bars since 2009.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So was that your first model? Was to just brew and distribute before you actually
The first
had a tap
model
room?
was we were working out of Chris's garage at the time.
Okay.
So we only did what we could do at the time. So that we started with that, and then we slowly picked up the pace, and we moved to the new building. It's an old church, monastery.
Wow.
Overlooks the valley. It's really, really nice.
That sounds really nice. That sounds incredible.
Yeah, it's an old church monastery, old Catholic school. Catholic school is the brew pub right now, and the church is our 15-barrel brew house.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
Pretty cool setup.
Bill, anything to say?
I'm just listening to the history again for the umpteenth time.
How long have you been there, Bill?
It will be 3 years in February 5th.
Nice.
Yes. I'm a nurse. I started working there when I was a nursing student. 'Cause
Okay.
I was there, going there as a fan, and then I started from the bottom, and
Now you're here.
I'm with these guys now.
Very, very cool. So what did you bring us today?
What you got there is our peaches and cream IPA.
Okay.
It's a double IPA rested on peaches and vanilla. Almost tastes like a lactose beer, but it's not a lactose beer.
I appreciate that.
Yes, we've heard that from a lot of people.
That's really cool. There's a lot of body there.
Yeah.
A lot of fresh, fruity flavors.
It's really good.
And it's incredibly well balanced.
Thank you.
I'm a big fan of this beer, actually.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
I know I said that to somebody else, but that's a real easy beer to get away from you, and that it didn't happen there.
Yeah.
It's got good balance.
We just released this in cans yesterday at our brew pub. So
That vanilla balances it perfectly.
yeah.
Holy cow.
But there's still enough hop flavor and a little bit of hop in there to keep you going.
Mark and I are, IPA heads first with everything. So all the beers we do got to be IPA forward, and then have the fruit flavors and the other flavors balance them out. So
I'm incredibly impressed, actually, and I'm not just saying this because you guys are here. I've been saying that. Who is it? Who's the favorite so far?
The table beer. From,
the table beer. Now I can't think of the brewery, but you guys are definitely second.
Thank you.
But in running for the first of the best beer I've had today. I'm not joking. That beer is awesome. It's a little. What's the ABV on it?
This is 7.2.
It's a little warm. It definitely has this warmth to it, like it's a heavier beer.
Yeah.
But it's incredibly well balanced. A ton of flavor, and it's just a great ride from start to finish. You guys nailed it with this one.
Thank you so
And I'm
much.
not just saying that. That's a really good beer.
Thank you. Yeah.
Are you guys? Have you made it around to any other spots, or are you just sticking with your own?
Well, we have our pub up in Wilkes-Barre, and we distribute to probably about 10 or 15 different bars and restaurants. And we got another secondary location we're thinking about opening up in the near future. So,
Do you think any of your stuff will drift down into this neck of the woods?
hard to say. Possibly. Yeah.
What makes you guys want to do a beer fest that's so far from home?
Something to do.
Yeah, we just want to get our beer out there a little more, just because our area, it's not the largest area, and we don't have the largest footprint up there.
Right.
So we just wanted to get out to see a larger brew fest such as this one, and this didn't disappoint. This is
such a
awesome
cool event. There's a ton of people here, and I am seriously blown away by this beer. I've gone back and had another sip of it, and I can't believe how good it is. You guys are nailing it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Keep up the good work, guys.
We also have I think 10 barrels that have been sitting for almost a year now with different stouts
Oh yeah.
going on.
Yeah, they're from 3 different distilleries. We have 3 different bourbon barrels, and we have the same beer from different distilleries. So maybe there'll be slight nuances with this one that will be different from the other.
That's awesome. So it's the same stout, but in 3 different barrels.
Yes.
That's awesome. That sounds very exciting. Well, very cool, guys. I really appreciate you taking a few minutes to hang out with us. Breaker Brewing up in, is it Scranton?
Wilkes-Barre.
Township.
Wilkes-Barre.
Yeah, definitely. Any of our listeners that if you happen to be traveling up through there, I definitely recommend giving these guys a visit.
This beer is
tasty.
fantastic.
Very good.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. It was
Thank
a
you
pleasure
guys so
talking
much.
to you.
Thanks, guys.
I'll talk to you soon.
Hey, Taylor Cooper here, and if you're looking for real, all-natural relief from stress and muscle soreness, you've got to check out our friends at Know Me CBD. Know Me CBD products are grown and processed in the USA, nano-amplified, 100% THC-free, and third-party lab tested. Order anywhere in the U.S. and use promo code MBN to get free shipping plus 20% off your entire order just for our listeners. What are you waiting for? Is stress wearing you down? Are sore muscles getting in the way of your weekend plans? You Know Me CBD is a game changer. I personally love their menthol pain relief lotion. Their gummies are delicious, and they even have CBD treats for your dogs. Go to YouKnowMeCBD.com, check out all their products, and don't forget to use promo code MBN for an extra 20% off your order plus free shipping. It's your life. Feel better. You Know Me CBD. That's EUNOMIA. EUNOMIA CBD.com. Go there now. Use MBN as the promo code. Get 20% off and free shipping. Must be 18 years old or older to purchase.
So you've been listening to the Might Be News Network, but you still can't get enough each week? Become our patron on Patreon. Head to patreon.com/MBN Network to become a patron and get exclusive content now. For as little as $5 per month, you'll get access to extended episodes of all your favorite shows, as well as perks including MBN merch and monthly giveaways. Just want to support the network? Become a patron for as much or as little as you'd like. Get bonus content each week and head to patreon.com/MBN Network. Your contributions help us make this network bigger and better than ever before. Patreon.com/MBN Network.
All right, we're here with my buddy Andy Williams. Andy, it's been a long time. We've been trying to get you on the podcast forever. You're just so important and so busy in the craft beer world. It's very difficult to get you down, but we grabbed you at a paid event. I'm sure that's the only reason you showed up. Andy, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm good, guys. This is my overtime, I guess, is what it qualifies as.
Okay.
So I can't complain.
On a payroll standpoint, I'm sure that's great. This is incredible. I'm just looking out over a sea of people. And what's crazy is we're on like one end of it almost. So if you go out like halfway into the area and look that way, it's like, it's crazy.
I never got a ticket count for the fest, but there have to be over 1,000 people here.
Didn't he say 32?
I think he said 3,500.
Holy shit. Yeah.
It's incredible.
No, because it even wraps around the other side of this building we're sitting in front of.
Yeah.
If you do the whole, U loop, if you will.
Yep. So you worked with Fegley's. Tell me about what does Fegley's have here at the Brewfest?
Well, I have Fegley's here brewing, or Fegley's Brewing pouring. I'm with Shangy's Wholesaler. So in addition to Fegley's, I have Bell's, Flying Dog, Spider Bite, Great Barn. I have Toppling Goliath, 3 Floyds, War Pigs, Southern Tier, and 2 Robbers Hard Seltzer coming right out of Philadelphia, the first craft hard seltzer, just being widely distributed.
The first?
Well, I guess not the... Well, I know Levante. I know Levante's dabbled in some hard seltzers, some hard teas, but this is the first attacking the Truly and White Claw sort of market. The first full-time year-round hard seltzer.
That's what they do.
Yeah, exactly. They're not just dabbling in it. This is what they're coming to market with, attacking that seltzer. That seltzer business.
Are you seeing that that's a well-received market? The seltzers?
Yes.
It seems like it's blown up.
So in 2018, they expected the seltzer market to triple in 2019. Currently, for the year, they're going to overshoot that. It is going to be $1 billion market. Woo! Just seltzers alone.
Wow.
Yes.
That's incredible.
It is massive.
I've heard good things. I've seen them at the local distributors. I'm sure due to your work, Exton Beverage, Thorndale Beverage. I'm seeing a lot of 2 Robbers on the shelves.
No, they're doing really well. They just launched to Jersey, I think this week or last week, so that's the second state they're launching to. They started with just the twin brothers. They're now with a sales manager and I think 4 sales associates. So a very rapidly growing company and really making good stuff. So I think as more people try it, they realize how extra caliber it is compared to the rest on the market, and they're switching over and they're not looking back.
Well, that's cool. I'm excited to try it.
Yes.
So what did you bring us today? What beer did you bring?
So what we're trying right now is one of those OG white whales, if you will. We got some 3 Floyds Zombie Dust. Yes. Good old school American pale ale. You are going to get a bitter, aggressive, hoppy beer. It is technically a pale ale, but it drinks like one of those old school IPAs that we all fell in love with before the haze and lactose craze, if you will.
Absolutely. I love the hop profile going on, but I feel like the malt finish on it is exceptional and stands out among the others.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It really brings it all together. It's got that bite from the older school that I sometimes miss. I don't know if everybody misses it, but it's such a good balance of beer.
No, it really
I'll admit it, man. I'm a haze boy. I love the New England hazy IPAs. However, I love switching it up to a good, solid hoppy beer. You know, whether it's a West Coast IPA or, you know, I mean, where is this brewing company out of?
So 3 Floyds is out of Munster, Indiana.
Yeah. I was just in Indiana. I flew into Fort Wayne. I did some work there. I was north up in Butler, and they had it on their draft list. I was like, oh, I haven't had Zombie Dust in a while. Let me get one. And I thought it was awesome that it was on tap, but they had kicked it, and they had Gumball Head and Alpha King.
Okay.
But still solid offerings.
Very solid. I've actually, Gumball Head is the one, Gumball Head's their lead. That's the one they sell the most of.
Really?
Yeah, it would be Zombie Dust if they could make enough Zombie Dust.
Why can't they make enough? What do you mean by that?
There's some proprietary hops and or yeast that goes into making Zombie Dust. So they're physically capped at the amount of Zombie Dust they can make in a given year.
Wow.
So they realized that they could come to market if they could make as much Zombie Dust as needed and just blow it out of the water. But they really like to keep a balanced portfolio. And Gumball Head is fantastic. It really is.
I swear we're so lucky to be in this market for beer. The Philadelphia market, for them to be so strict because of the actual hop restrictions to send Zombie Dust our way. I mean, I just feel like we're very lucky to have that.
No, it's a very special market as a consumer. I can tell you as someone that sells beer in the market, from that standpoint, it is exponentially getting tougher and tougher. I mean, at this festival alone, you see all the self-distributor, local Pennsylvania craft, and that is where the market's going. It's where the trend in the consumer is going. They want to support local. They want to see what's close by. So even though I have Pennsylvania brands, they're not from Chester County. You know, Chester County alone is blown up with their own breweries. So
absolutely,
it is a wonderful market we're in as a consumer. Again, for selling beer in the market, it is getting tougher and tougher because as awesome as it is to have Zombie Dust come into town and toppling Goliath, we were seeing the Alchemist drops here, you know, from Vermont, that sort of stuff. We're seeing Sip of Sunshine now, some Hill Farmstead. We're getting the best beer in the country, in the world here. So it's amazing to drink beer here.
I often say I feel bad for your customers sometimes that they've got an incredible amount of things that they could potentially order, and how do they know what to do?
Exactly.
I mean, I want to get, you know, if I were you, I'd want to get Zombie Dust, I'd want to get Alpha King, I'd want to get Gumball Head, I'd want to get Pseudo Sue, I'd want to get everything that you guys have. And they probably do, but I mean, there's just so many options locally, abroad, that are so popular. It's just got to be a tough thing to do, and kudos to those guys out there that, you know, that have to sell it, and the guys that have to buy it. It can't be an easy job.
No, we definitely we run through our paces, and we're always on our toes, head on the swivel sort of thing, looking for that next opportunity because they're fewer and farther between.
Well said. I wonder how many people are like me where it's rare that I go back and get the same thing over and over again. There's a handful of beers that I always try to keep in my fridge.
Sure.
Depending on the time of year, like I always like having Dogfish Sequence Ale for like a soury type sessionable thing. I like Victory Homegrown Lager. I love that Pseudo Sue is readily available. That's such a good beer that's not too heavy.
No, absolutely.
You know, and things like that. So, you know, there's those ones that are always there that I always go back to. Sip of Sunshine, Peak Organic does a dry hop Pilsner that I love.
Yes.
And, so there's a lot of beers out there that I try to get in all the time, but I always switch it up, and I'm always getting different beers every time I go to the beer store.
No, and I'd say you're falling more in the majority now. That idea of brand loyalty is just, it's going extinct.
Yeah, it's gone.
We see. So I sell Bell's Two Hearted. That is our number one, close to it if it's not. And it's cyclical. You have a month where all the local guys put out a bunch of brand new IPAs that you never heard of before.
Yeah.
That's what people are going in and grabbing, but you have a slower month and all of a sudden you see them go back to that tried and true. Two Heart has been brewed for 30 years, the best IPA in America the last 3 years in a row. So you see them go back to those OGs. But those cycles, those dips and peaks or whatever, however you want to look at it, they're getting elongated, if you will.
I believe
as more and more beer comes into the market, the brand loyalty is just it's going extinct.
It's crazy how there's both. There's the tried and true beers that we're used to seeing that are always on tap. You love seeing Two Hearted as a go-to, but then there's breweries like Tired Hands, Other Half, Levante. They're just pushing out a new beer after new beer because they're attributing to guys like me, I feel like, who a lot of times we have our go-tos, but we're always looking for something new. And I think we appreciate the craft so much that we're looking forward to having something that hasn't been done before.
Yes.
Or something that is an intriguing flavor profile, and how did they accomplish it?
Yes.
And it's a very, very interesting time to be a craft beer fan and a craft beer consumer.
And I'd say too, on that note, where Bell's could try some experimental sort of stuff maybe and put it out to market, I think the likes of Levante have more of an opportunity to try, and even if it doesn't quite come out the way they wanted to, Levante or these local guys have that loyalty to where even if you have a bad beer from them, you're going to go back and try the next new thing. So the local guys have that sort of loyalty building for them, which is
for sure
a really interesting thing to watch, where, my bigger guys that have been doing it for 20 plus years, not only do they have to consider bringing it to the full footprint that they serve to, but it's also, they're so well established and have such a name for themselves that they have a flop. It's felt more so for a longer period of time than if, Levante maybe has a flop, or Free Will, just throwing anybody out there. There's more loyalty to just go back and try their next new thing than there is with some of the OGs.
That's a very interesting point.
We got to get Andy on for a full podcast instead of this little.
I love talking with you, because anytime we hang out or we run into each other at a bar or a brewery and we're having a couple together, I feel like we can talk for hours. So I really want to get you on for a full hour and a half at least podcast and just have a good time trying some of your beers and having a good time.
No, I appreciate the time today and look forward to that opportunity for the longer show and to actually sit down and get into some fun stuff.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Man. Thanks for coming on with us.
Dude,
appreciate it.
Thank you so much for taking the time. Let's get back to it. Always a pleasure, Andy.
Thanks, guys.
All right, we'll see you.
All right, guys, we are back here with Kevin Kirshner from Brothers Kirshner Brewing out of Skippack, Pennsylvania. Kevin, you're a long-time buddy of me and Taylor's.
Here.
And I've been trying to talk to you about beer for the longest time. And I have to say, we're going to do a full-length episode with you at some point, and we'll talk about this again.
We're coming.
But I feel like you and I hung out not that long before your brewery opened, and you didn't say a thing to me.
Nope.
And then all of a sudden, it was like, I'm opening a brewery. And I was like, I didn't even know Kevin was into beer like that. It's crazy.
I'm so proud of you, man.
Hey,
I'm so proud of you.
It's so cool to see. I love seeing people that you know, but good people being successful and doing their thing and having a successful business. Like there's nothing you can be more proud of.
Thank you, man.
That's so cool.
Appreciate that.
Very,
really
very cool. But dude, I have to ask you, and I want to get into this on the full-length podcast as well, but you're a Downingtown guy. We all graduated from Downingtown. Why Skippack?
It's a good question. We get that a lot. It's probably one of the most FAQs, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
So Montgomery County, didn't know much about it as a whole, but that said, the beer scene, the craft beer scene, really starting to take flight. Round Guys is one of the oldest, longest standing breweries still there. And when we opened, I want to say we're like the third oldest brewery, as young as we are in Montgomery County, if you think about it that way. So you got Stickman Brewing down the road.
Yep.
But long story short, the traction's happening there. We knew there was a lot of opportunity, and Montgomery County's starting to wake up to the whole craft beer. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, for a few years, I worked out of Skipback over on Lucon Road, really not far from you. If you come out of your brewery, turn right, cross over 113, I think it's the next major right that you can take is Lucon Road.
Yep.
So I wasn't far from you. I know your location well. But yeah, it's just a really cool, every time you drive through there, especially on a weekend, it's the coolest little quaint town where there's these awesome shops, awesome restaurants, people walking around, having a good time, enjoying the weather. I mean, I really feel like that's probably an incredible location for a brewery.
Talk about a fit for us, too. I mean, we love it, home, as close to home as you can be, so to speak, at the heart. And Skipback Village is nothing but. It's small shops, it's family-owned businesses. The draw was definitely there. And when you walk through it, you feel it. I mean, it's a historic little town, little German village, and you don't find many of those anymore. It's perfect.
That's amazing.
Well, you brought us over a little beer to sample here. What'd you bring for us?
I did. We got our flagship porter here. It's called Pugsley Porter. So a lot of folks ask where the name came from. Is it from the Addams family? It's actually, if you picture a chubby pig with overalls on, a big porter in his hand, a big chocolatey beer mustache, and he's just cheersing to you, that's Pugsley.
Nice.
That's great.
It's like your own character.
Yeah, exactly.
You need a mascot now, I feel like.
I think we should. We're running
very,
around.
very cool.
It's our robust porter coming at 6.5%.
I had a little sip. I really like the, it's almost got like a roastiness to it that's really coming through
roasty.
really nice.
Yep. Yeah,
it's very roasty but smooth at the same time.
Yep.
It's a little thin, so like I feel like it's not like if you're not into heavy stouts, you'll still like this beer. There's the roasty malts. It's a clean finish. But there's a little bit of chocolatey that lingers.
Sometimes a porter can get like a little ashtray-y for me, but this does not have that.
Right.
Just the right amount of tobacco flavor, if you will.
Right.
Yeah.
I get a little bit of that still, which a porter should have a little of that smoky appeal, hence a porter.
But I don't want too much of it.
No, nobody likes licking an ashtray.
So tell me about the brewery. Who's brewing there?
My brother Baz, he's the man behind all the beer.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's been at it for now, I guess it'll be year 13, I want to say, he's been brewing.
Wow.
Your typical homebrew story, got it as a gift. Hobby turned to passion, turned to much more, and then from us, campfire stories turned into what ifs to why nots to business plan to opening doors in 2018.
It's incredible.
What's it like running a business with family?
It's awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah. And a lot of folks ask, are you sure you want to do that? Right? You're going in?
Sure.
But when you have someone as like-minded as you, and everything is planned and calculated, we communicate everything real well, and that's the key. We're there to have fun, and we do that on the side anyway, so why not open a business, especially a brewery to boot,
It sounds that way. It sounds like you guys can have a blast. I'm sure there's a lot of work, a lot of hard work that's involved in running a business and running a brewery, but you guys look like you're having so much fun. And for you guys to just like brew beer, have people come in, tell you how much you love it. I don't know. I feel like that's like the American dream, man. You did your thing. I mean, I know you were like in corporate America for a long time.
Was, yeah.
You were a manager running, employees and everything. I know we talked about that for a long time. What's it like running your own business now?
I gotta say, it's interesting because I left corporate America, which was managing people where the headaches are bazillion and migraines.
Yes.
And you're back to it, you're still managing people and the headaches are still there. But that said, you're working for yourself. And it's just a totally different drive that I've honestly never felt before. It's unbelievable.
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
All right, so what would you say if you knew somebody that was getting very popular on the homebrew scene and they want to open their own thing? Do you have any advice for them?
Biggest advice I could say is focus on the beer. I mean, it starts there. If you rush it, if you come out with something too fast, you open too fast, and the beer's not exactly where it should be, we got a competitive market we're dealing with, and there is a ton of great beer out there. So focus on that first and make sure you're good and ready and comfortable with that leaving your shop and for people to drink it.
I just can't imagine the competitiveness. I understand that, like, I see you guys are friendly with East Branch. Mm-hmm. I see you guys are friendly with a lot of local breweries, and there's a lot of camaraderie, friendship, companionship going on. But at the same time, there's so many options for the craft beer brewer. What's it like for you to what do you do to stay relevant?
That's exactly it. the question that we ask ourselves every day, what are we doing? Are we on brand, right? And for us, and everybody has their own, for us, our beers are true to style, usually traditional styles, made super clean and straightforward and a little bit for everybody. And that's just our little niche. There's the other niches that are a little bit more trendy, which is great. I mean, you need to have that because that's what makes
everything.
The whole beer community. But for us, that's kind of how we stand out. Brewed with brotherly love, more importantly. So when you come in, our whole thing is you're treated like family as soon as you walk in that door.
I love the name, man. Brothers Kirshner.
It's
you
great.
feel like your family when you're in there. That's so cool, man. I'm so fucking proud of you.
Thanks, man.
Me
I can't
too.
tell you that enough.
It's amazing.
I appreciate that.
Amazing.
It's so cool to see. Every time I see people, talking about your beers on the Facebook groups and the beer groups and you coming up, it's just like, man, he's doing it and he did it and people like it and you're making it happen. And just knowing you since high school, before that, you know what I mean? Like maybe a little bit of underage drinking was going on at your place, maybe.
How do you think the palate got so refined?
Yeah, right. Back in the day, man. But I'm so proud of you, man. I hope you keep up the good work. I can't wait to come there and do a show with you guys. Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Thank you so much for everything.
Work. Thank you, Krish. Appreciate it, man.
Hanging out.
And thank you guys. Good job.
Love you, dude.
Thank
keep
you,
it
man.
up.
Hell yeah.
All right, folks, we're here with Lish and Frank.
Hey.
We might go back a couple years.
A little bit.
Lish, how long? 1998-ish, 7-ish?
That sounds about right.
Somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys are not exactly, I'll say, you're not craft beer connoisseurs. How about that? Is that a fair statement?
I am a veteran beer drinker, but a novice beer taster.
So you're new to craft beer?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So that's very interesting for you guys to get here. You guys won the tickets that were donated by Jeff for the for Adam's fundraiser.
Correct.
Which was a super great
Absolutely.
great job of Jeff offering up those tickets for this.
Shout out Adam.
Yes.
Yes.
Hope you're doing well. I won Flyers tickets that I think I get to, to take part of at some point.
All right.
I got a fireplace.
Oh, that's right. You did.
Wow.
Very cool.
Wow.
Very cool.
Impressive, right?
Yeah. Well, suddenly it makes me feel a lot less good about this. All right, way to go.
All right.
You got to talk to us. And
cool,
drink beer.
and he gets to warm his home and family. Great, thank you.
So this is your first beer fest. What do you think of this whole setup here?
This is really a cross-section of America, right? I mean, we definitely have an older crowd that's veteran. They're well-oiled machines at this thing. We definitely have the frat bro demographic that's just here to, let's face it, have a great time.
Now, did you notice that demographic went up when the connoisseur hour ended?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Oh, no, as soon as we headed over to that area where it's like 50-50 beer merch, it skyrocketed.
Right up in the air.
Right? Then that's also where like the Instagram influencer demographic is definitely gathered in that area as well.
Going on?
Not that, but just like approaching on that.
Yeah,
I thought that was us.
For sure.
I thought we were influencers.
Yeah, somebody titled us that once.
Yeah.
They were wrong.
Yeah.
So what have you guys had so far that you've liked? Any beers that stuck out to you that were like, wow, that was really tasty?
I don't remember the name of any of the breweries. There's a pumpkin one all the way at the end.
Okay.
It was literally the first one that I drank, and I'm not really big on like the pumpkin beers, but I was like, this is very good. I like this.
Interesting. I'm not a big pumpkin beer guy, but
neither am I. But that was good right off
cool.
the bat. Hitchhiker had a mimosa one, which was the only one I've had more than once.
I did not get that one yet.
That one is very good.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it's very good. Let's see. There was
The mead.
Yeah, the mead. I've never had mead before.
Okay.
That was a whole new thing. I had no expectation. Good, bad, positive, negative. That was awesome.
Check out Colony Meadery if you haven't
Okay.
yet.
They're on the other side.
And literally the guys with the cold beer banner.
Yeah. Crime and Punishment.
That was great. That was great.
Yeah, those
too.
are good guys.
For sure.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So do you think you will try and frequent some more beer festivals? Is this going to
Yes.
Is this something
increase
you would
your
do again?
interest?
Oh, absolutely.
Nice.
Absolutely. A day to not have a child around and drink beer, and it checks a lot of boxes for us. So yes, for sure.
I just can't imagine. I can't believe the people that are here. When you look around, it's a crowded space.
Yeah. Well, it definitely opened up after the connoisseur period for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, it's pretty cool to see. Like, at first I thought, like, oh, this is definitely a niche of people. Like, and Steve knows, like, we're definitely in a niche of people with like bandos that like
Right.
it's a very specific demographic of America.
Sure.
This is a whole other one I discovered where like you can tell the people that are like in this to do this.
Right.
There's like all those other ones we talked about, but then you can tell there's the guys that are like,
this is what
that
I
are
do.
like that are like beer festival cosplaying, where they're like in like lederhosen, like they're in it to win it today. Like
There's
you
some
know that
lederhosen.
they do this. I've seen several lederhosen guys.
There's some kilts.
Leather kilt guys.
I saw leather kilt
They're
guy.
definitely this is their
Pretzel
MO.
necklace. Pretzel necklace is coming out.
Absolutely, like they know they're here for business.
Absolutely.
So that's cool to see as well.
Well, guys, I'm super glad that you guys won this ticket, and I'm glad you guys got to make it out.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming and hanging out on Might Be Brews with us.
Yeah, I was supposed to judge bands today, and
you said no.
Yeah, and they were like, "Well, we really need people," and I'm like, "Well, I'm going to be at a beer festival all day," and they're like, "Well, you should probably not."
That's probably a good option.
You might probably be too honest.
Well, dude, it's a pleasure.
Right on.
Thanks
Well,
for being
you.
on, man.
Thanks,
You
guys.
got it.
Nice
Thank
meeting you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome.
We are back, and you said not to say we were back, and I did it. Fuck it. Brett and Laura.
We're back.
We're
That's
back.
right.
Hi. What's up, guys? Good to see you. What are you up to?
We came here kind of spur of the moment. And,
Yeah, you guys weren't sure you were going to come even like a couple days ago on the podcast.
Yeah, so my parents are coming in a couple hours. We're going to dinner. We're doing some stuff. But after Might Be Brews, when we recorded on Thursday, we bought some tickets. So we're here.
You guys are here.
After a few beers.
Awesome. So, what do you guys think? What have you thought so far of this whole event?
I'll tell you, this is awesome. I've been to the Winterfest, and this is double or triple
At
times.
least.
Yeah, it's wild. So there's tons and tons of beer, all different brewers. You can, sample your hearts out. So every different style, which is nice. You're not just getting your IPAs or whatever. It's IPAs, stouts, sours, Berliner Weiss I saw. I don't know, did you see anything different?
What's your guys' favorite so far?
So we've gone to a lot of the breweries that like we know and we know we like their stuff, but we've tried a few new ones that we haven't tried. Brew Gentleman was awesome.
Which beer?
We got what was it? General Braddock's IPA. They had kicked some of the other stuff. They said that was their like mainstay.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. And we just had some Evergreen that was awesome too.
Evergreen. I haven't had one from them yet.
I had their 3rd anniversary stout. Awesome. Apple brandy barrel aged beer.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm a sucker for apple brandy barrel aged beer. So.
Who's really?
Yeah, it was good.
I know you're a sucker for stouts, but to know that you're a sucker for that specific barrel
I didn't
very
want to ever
interesting.
admit it to myself, but today I decided that's the one I like.
He's come out. He's come out of the closet as a apple barrel brandy.
If you guys get a chance, go back to Brew Gentleman and get the table beer if they have any left, because that's my favorite beer. Brett, you're not a sour guy.
I am not.
So maybe you won't like it as much. It's not too sour, but still. And what's the other one? What is the guy's names?
I don't know. I don't know where you're talking about.
This one.
Oh, Breaker.
Someone
Brewing's-
just told us Breaker we needed to go to. That was going to be our next stop.
Peach, is it peach? I think
Yeah,
it was peach IPA.
Peach and cream IPA.
Peach and cream IPA. There's
Very
some
tasty.
vanilla in there. That one's probably my second favorite beer I've had so far.
I have a question for Taylor. Yeah. So, as someone let's say a year ago, probably, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Do you ever imagine yourself at a beer fest today enjoying it?
No. I would have thought that this was just a weirdo beer fest. That's probably what I would have called it. I would have most likely stayed away just because I probably wouldn't have. In my mind, I would have been like, I wouldn't like anything there. There's no Miller Lite or Yingling or anything. But I've really enjoyed myself today. I've had quite a bit of really, really good beer. That 2SP Brewing Company is really good. Had some Twin Lakes, which was really good. Brothers Kirshner, which was fantastic. I stopped over at Trogs. Levante, of course. I've been all over the place. Yeah, five. It's all been really, really good.
It's a classic.
I've really enjoyed myself, and everybody that's been on the show has been a lot of fun to talk to as well.
Steve, what's your favorite beer so far?
I'm going with that table beer still. I can't get that one. Can't get that one quite out of my mind. A really good beer.
It's
we got to get back for the table beer.
You
then.
have to. It's not too big of a beer. It's only 4 something, but there's so much flavor and it's so well balanced. I feel like everybody that's been on, I've been like, table beer, go try the table beer. But it's on point. That's a good beer.
Can you rate it on air?
5.
Oh.
Straight up 5.
It was
Straight up
also
5.
Hitchhiker Bottle Service Mimosa Smoothie Sour.
I've heard
That
good things.
was
I haven't had it yet.
Very good.
We got to head over there pretty soon.
We do. We got to do that quick.
That one's definitely for all the ladies from the nose on it. When I smelled it, I was like, yeah, her friends would have been all on that. Yep, brunch
girl. Awesome. Very cool. Very cool. Well, guys, I'm so happy that you're here. I'm glad that you guys made the decision to come out. Of course, I mean, you guys are a fan favorite. You're always on. We love having you here. So thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us on. So good to see you here.
Absolutely, guys.
Yeah, guys, you guys take care, all right?
All right, love you guys. Talk to you soon.
All right, we actually have the results of the most popular beer for the Connoisseur Hour. It went to Rotunda Brewing for their Peach Sweet Tart. That's SWHEAT. Sweet Tart, not Sweet Tart. They'll be cease and desist if they had Sweet Tart.
I've not had that yet. I hope there's some left.
It was really tasty. It got peach in there without it being an artificial peach. It was very fresh tasting. It was very nice beer.
Awesome.
Who do we got with us now, John?
We've got our buddy Tom Carver. Tom, how you doing
guys,
today?
I'm wonderful.
What's
Thank
up, Tom?
you. It's a great day.
Tom, I love your voice. You got to give me an old school station identification.
And now the weather from the Beer Podcast Network. That's going back about 25 years to my radio days.
It's not easy to do, right?
Yeah, right.
I hear you.
When I was in the
it.
police academy, they made me get up every night and give the forecast.
Very cool. Very cool. So, how's it been today? What have you been up to?
It is such an awesome day. I mean, Jeff Norman, his group, every year, well, twice a year, because the Winterfest is also awesome.
Yep.
I love coming here, and the best part is finding new brews. Years ago, I used to go to the Stouts Brew Fest because what's this? Lagunitas, never heard of them.
Right, yeah.
But today I come here, I'm like, Breaker Brewing Company. Awesome. They had a great coffee stout. That's what Jeff does. I mean, he brings in these beer, these breweries you never heard of, and they're knocking it off the charts.
They are.
And the Breaker Stout was the first one I had today, and probably my favorite of the day.
Wow.
We had the Breaker guys over, and that was good stuff. Really good stuff.
I had their stout, but I thought that their peach IPA knocked my socks off. Awesome. It was a peach vanilla, and it was just so well balanced. I love that beer. That's probably my second favorite. First being the table beer over there at, why do I keep blanking on this one?
Brew Gentleman.
Brew Gentleman.
But that's what I love about this fest. You can show up and find a brewery you've never heard of from Wilkes-Barre, from, Dewey Beach or whatever.
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. You never heard of them, and you're like, holy cow, man, you guys are killing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. So what do we have here?
And then you get your old favorites like Wilmington Brew Works, Levante, any of the favorites that we see all the time, and you're like, all right, that's a great reminder. You're killing it.
Exactly. Great beers today.
Speaking of new, what are we drinking on here?
This is Drawing a Blank Triple IPA.
Abomination?
From Abomination Brewing Company.
It's good.
He can't really give me a straight answer where they're out of. He said they live in PA. They're brewing out of Connecticut. But let's give it a shot.
Well, I've been sipping on it a little bit here. It's a pretty tasty IPA.
Cheers.
I could see myself drinking a couple of these.
I'm surprised it doesn't taste like a triple.
What's the ABV on this?
I didn't catch it. It's got to be high for a triple, I would think, but it doesn't seem that high.
No, it does not.
It's pretty easy drinking.
It doesn't taste like 10.5% or whatever it may be.
But either way, regardless of what it is, if you didn't tell me what style it was, this is a good beer.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying it. It's got a good hop profile. It's pretty well balanced. It finishes pretty easy. It's not too heavy.
I'm told it is an 11.1%. John Young has told me it's 11.1%.
Thank you, John. Thank you for
It's dangerously tasty.
Yeah, I would not have put this at 11.
No, not at all. It's a fantastic beer.
We've also got Dana Dillon over here kind of peeking at us.
Dana, say hi to the microphone.
Come on,
over
get
here.
over here.
Just at least put your face in front of the microphone and say hi.
I'm too short.
Just say hi.
Yeah, we'll dip it down.
Hi,
Hello.
Dana. How are you?
I am good. How are you?
I'm good. It's so good to finally talk to you on the podcast. We've talked about it 100 times. You're such a big craft beer fan. You're always we see you at all the events, whether it's a beer fest, a bottle share, a a brewery release, whatever it is, it seems like you're always there to be a part of it, and you're a big part of the community. And we're happy to finally talk to you on the podcast.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Hop
Cheers.
Queen of Westchester.
Hop Queen of Westchester.
No, I'm the IPA queen.
IPA
Ah, I like that. And it wasn't a self-given title; it was given to you.
Yes.
So you got to deal with
Yes, James at Split Rail.
Oh.
Jim's at Split
Jim
Rail.
is Split Rail.
Jim's at Split Rail.
Very cool.
And we have to do the Queen Wave.
Oh yeah. Nice. Very cool.
Is that a Quippa? Is that what you call the queen of IPA? Quippa?
Quippa.
I'm a Quippa.
I like
Quippa?
that. Dippa,
Yeah.
Quippa.
Quippa.
I love it.
Yeah, dig it.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us for a few minutes.
I love what you guys are doing. Keep it up. Spread the word about good beers in the area.
We're trying.
From a radio guy,
Love
that means
it.
a lot.
Listening
I
to it all
appreciate
the time.
Very cool.
Thank you very
Awesome.
much.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Is that a wrap? Are we wrapping it up from Kennett BrewFest? Guys, if you took the time to listen to us, we really appreciate you. Thank you so much for being a part of what we're doing. Thank you, Jeff, everybody at Kennett BrewFest, for letting us do this. It's been a blast. I feel like we've gotten a lot of attention, a lot of new potential followers, a lot of great guests. We're very excited to be a part of this. Thank you so much for listening. Steve, you got anything to say?
A lot of good beer here. Thanks again to Jeff for having us. Great event. Hopefully anybody that was here had a great time.
If you're on Patreon, go to Patreon. We're putting out a little video, Patreon exclusive for this.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much for listening. And you guys did a great job today.
If you're not on Patreon, get on Patreon.
Patreon.com/MBN Network. Starts as low as $5 a month. Get an extra half hour of every show, plus monthly giveaways. That's all I got.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Thanks, guys. We appreciate you. See you next time. Thank you. Dana, love you. Thanks for being on. Let's go hand out some stickers.
Appreciate it. Thank you.